Hey, 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 peace, everyone. Peace and gratitude. Welcome to introducing the PodClass. I am Smart Video Girl, your host guide for today. And, I just want to take a moment to breathe and give thanks. I'm very excited about this show, this particular class. Um, we're talking about purpose. Okay, we're talking about purpose, but not just in a traditional sense, because purpose is one of those things that gets lost in translation, because there's so many ways to be on purpose and in purpose and blah, blah, blah. So tonight, in this podcast, we're going to go through on the topic is on, in, and for purpose. Okay. So take that in. It's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot of good information. And on this journey of self mastery, because that's where we are, that's what this season is all about, self mastery, we want to be intentional. So, this breakdown of purpose is exciting. I'm excited because it gives more definition, more clarity. I'm in a season of clarity. It gives more clarity to what your purpose is in a whole sense, in a holistic sense. Oh wow, I just realized that too. Wow. Okay. All right, so let's get into it. We're gonna really delve into it. I just wanted to take that, but before we go into all of the things, we're going to start this class off right. We're going to always set an intention, and tonight's intention is ta-da, clarity. Okay, to understand purpose beyond our roles, titles, and expectations. Okay, we're moving beyond that thought process, new ways of thinking, introducing new ways of thinking of what purpose is and getting clarity in how to actually live in alignment with who you are supposed to be. All right. All right. So today's quote, this week's quote is purpose is a divine assignment. Oh, gosh. Purpose is a divine assignment. That is the quote. And let that, oh gosh, that one, I forgot that I wrote that out there. I'm walking with you guys through this. Trust and believe me. So, purpose is a divine assignment. What does that mean to you? Let that resonate with you. What does that mean when you hear purpose is a divine assignment? That's a good, I would like to hear your thoughts in the comments. All right. So we do have some announcements this week before we get into our musical therapy and before we get into our actual class session. We do have some announcements. The first one is Forever Free. Okay. And the illiteracy playbook documentary red carpet premiere is happening June 21st. Yes. So I am actually featured in this documentary. I'm very, very excited. It's so interesting that this was, done years ago, at this point, 2-3 years ago, and it is finally out. It's doing great. It won Best at Fest. I'm just very excited to be a part of this project and the impact. Okay, what are we talking about? Purpose. Oh my goodness, the impact that it is having in community. So shout out to J Media Publishing, J Media Films, and the Better Place Incorporated for all the work you're doing and for inviting me to be a part of this and to lend my voice to literacy in our community. So that's the first thing. And you can scan the QR code right there at the top there. Boom, boom, boom. Get it. And you can get tickets. Okay. So you still have time. All right. All right. So then more announcements. Of course, you can always get their book, right? We love the book. Yes, we do. We love the book. We have the book because we show up to the class. So we have the book. Yes. Okay. And we bring our book to class and we bring our journals to class. And yeah, to class. All right. So get the book. Shout out to those who have it. Shout out to Miss Barbara who just purchased the book for me the other day. I appreciate you very, very much. She said, I love my elders. So she came up to me and she said, oh, she knows me. She's my neighbor, actually. She's my neighbor's sister. And she was up doing something. She said, oh, don't you have a book? I said, yes, ma'am, I do. She said, what's the name? She said, I don't remember. She said, I got home and then I couldn't remember what it is. And so we were all outside. Oh, this is a real community moment. I love these moments. But we were all outside. My kids were outside. My parents were outside. The neighbors were outside. I'm talking to Miss Barbara. I said, son, go get a book because I got books in the house. I got books for sale. If you want a book, you can call. You can reach out to me too. I got books. But I said, son, go get me a book. And so he brings me a book. And this book had money in it, but nonetheless, I took the money out. But I signed the book over to Miss Barbara, and it was a moment of gratitude because she remembered and she was like, ah, yes. And so shout out to you, Miss Barbara, and thank you so much for supporting the cause. And you can scan the QR code there as well and grab the book. Okay. So, Smart Video Girl is going to be speaking on a panel for the Power in Her Petals, which is a youth empowerment summit that's going to be happening July 25th. And I'm very, very excited about that. I got invited to do this through a young lady, a friend of mine's, her niece. So she told her to reach out to me. And I'm so glad I can be able to reach out and help and give back to the girls because this is really my target audience. I love the people who come to my podcast, but I love to talk to the young ladies. So if you have a young lady between the ages of 15 and 20, they can register here at the event. If you want to sponsor, if you want to support, because this is being put on by a young lady. She's in her 20s herself. Okay. And she is putting this together. So if you would like to support in any way, you can reach out to me as well, and I can hook you up with her. Shout out to her, baby. And it's going to be I'm very excited about that. So that is new. And as more things develop, I will share more information on that. Okay. And last but not least, guess what, y'all? All right. So we've had several people sponsored everything. You guys know how I love t-shirts, right? You guys, I love a good t-shirt. Shout out to my t-shirt. If y'all saw my t-shirt yesterday, in the reel, it says "Women with Vision don't need permission," which was a quote from my recent speech, right? I love a good t-shirt. So shout out to my friend for giving me those shirts. But we also have now a sponsor, a t-shirt sponsor, y'all. So shout out, yeah, look at that, Northeast. That's why I was born in the Northeast. So people say, well, yeah, from DC. Listen, okay, this is the deal. All right. This is the deal. I was born in Northeast till I was 5, and then we moved to Montgomery County because my parents wanted to give me a better education. And at that time in the 80s, that was a better education. So that's what they did. So guess what? But Northeast. So look, if you like this shirt, or if you like any version of the quadrants in the Washington, D.C. area, you can visit that website. So thank you. Shout out to our sponsor, WDCT 202. Thank you so much for your sponsorship. Thank you for the teas. Okay, make sure you get a t-shirt, Northeast. All right. Like it, love it, want more of it. And I'll be wearing shirts from time to time. I love a good t-shirt. Y'all know I love a good t-shirt. And I love a good shirt that has a good graphic on it. So shout out to our sponsor. Thank you for your support as well. Truly, truly, truly appreciate it. And if you would like to sponsor in any way, support in any way, I will be more than happy to receive that and to share that with the others who attend the class. So thank you so much. All right, so y'all know what time it is. It is musical therapy time. We are going to be doing musical therapy. So today's musical therapy is kind of in line with the topic for today. Okay, so I'll talk about it when I come back. So in the meantime, in between time, first of all, hey, how y'all doing? Appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for being in the building. Peace, knowledge. Peace, T. What's up? How you doing? Peace, sis. Peace, sis. How y'all doing? Cortland, thank you so much for being here. You did answer. You said the God inspired idea, mission I am or feel called to execute or collaborate with God to manifest. That is in reference to the question. So if you missed the question was based on the quote. Let me go back to the quote. There it is. Purpose is a divine assignment. So to Cortland, that means the God inspired idea, mission I am or feel called to execute or collaborate with God to manifest. That is beautiful. All right, so we're going to get into this. I hope you enjoyed this musical therapy selection. And when we come back, make sure you have your books, your notepads, your pens, and all of that, because we're going to get into it. All right, I'll be right back.
Yeah. Junkie going pretty, boy. Hey, burn some sage, homie. Yeah, look, I had to sit down and meditate, connect with my soul. I had to change my diet, I had to switch up some goals. I had to evaluate plans and switch up on people. I had to switch my living, had to fight with the reaper. I had to fight my fears, I had to fall to the bottom. I had to search for myself, and yeah, I cried when I caught him. I had to be quiet, I had to listen some more. My son wasn't feeling loved, I had to kiss him some more. I had to talk to myself, I had to chat with God. I had to forgive myself, I had to accept my flaws. I had to focus up and cut off all my distractions. I had to be quiet and follow up with some actions. I had to walk by faith and not walk what I see. I had to walk like I talk, and had to walk what I be. I had to fight with myself to overcome all things. I had to sit with myself before I sit with the kings. My soul is fading so far away. Hey, burn some sage, homie. My soul is fading so far. Yeah, look, I had to change my words, I had to start speaking life. I had to apologize, I had to make shit right. I had to control my urges, had to cut off some sex. I had to block some numbers, had to cut off some texts. I had to read some books, I had to pray every day. I had to go to the gym, I had to release some rage. I had to draw some boundaries and focus on me. I had to stop drinking soda, I had to get with the tea. I had to step in my power, I had to use my mind. I had to do my bid, I had to face my time. I had to fight my fears, I had to fall to the bottom. I had to search for myself, I finally cried when I caught him. I had to be quiet, I had to listen some more. My son wasn't feeling loved, I had to kiss him some more. I had to fight with myself to overcome all things. I had to sit with myself before I sit with the kings. My soul is fading so far away. My soul is fading so far.
Hey, welcome back. All right, that was our musical therapy selection for this week. Sit with the Kings. And he was talking about a whole lot of things he had to do. He had to go through a lot of different things. Physical things, mental things, all kinds of things that he had to let go of. And yeah. So this journey of self-mastery a lot of times is about releasing, right? Especially when you have been here for a while, or you have a certain level, like if you're here, you understand a certain level of, you have a certain level of understanding. So therefore, you want to elevate, you want more than what you have at this point, right? But you know how you've gotten here, right? And so now you want to take that next step. You want to take that next leg of the journey that's going to take you where you know that you are going. Okay? So that is really what I see in this. So on this topic of on, in, and for purpose, we are going to get right into it. So I hope you have your pens, pencils, journals, and all of that good stuff. If you see me sipping, I am fasting. So this is my, this is me right here. Boom. All right. So I'm gonna sip. Mm. Oh, and I got a new bottle. Y'all see? It's purple now. Boop. Still got the smart video girl. All right. All right. All right. Let's get to it. All right. Do your damn homework. That's right. Do your damn homework. Yeah, homework. And if you don't do the homework, then what are we doing? Thank you, Knowledge One. I appreciate you. Appreciate you. All right. So let's get to it. You know how we do, we break it down. Break it down. What purpose is not, okay? Because we want to get straight to it. It is not your job. It's not your title. It is not something that you arrive to. We have talked about this before in other contexts when we were talking about our creating our authenticity statements about who we are. So revisiting the fact that we have authenticity statements, that how we start to, we rewritten our narrative. We've rewritten, redefined who we are with something that resonates at our soul level, not just at a level of what we do day to day on this earthly realm. It's more of who I was created to be. So purpose is not your job, okay? Purpose is not your title, okay? And it's not something that you arrive at. You don't get to your purpose and then be like, I'm done. I arrived. At that point, you are now no longer here on earth. And that meaning purpose has been served, meaning you have lived life and now you are cycling out. That is that part, if that's what you are talking about. Okay. So let's just be clear on that. I don't want to spend too much time on that because that's not really the fun part. We want to talk about what purpose really is. Okay. What purpose really is. And we're going to break this down. And this is where we're going to get deep in. We're going to write notes. Okay. This is how we show up, is how we serve, and how we align with the gifts with impact. We align our gifts with impact. Okay. And you heard me mention impact earlier when I was talking about the documentary. That's why I was like, okay. So the first one, how we show up. That's a being on purpose. That's intentional action. That's how we show up. When you are on purpose, you are intentional about what you do. Your actions are, the path is laid. So you are on the path of purpose. You have intentional action, how you show up, where you show up, right? Where you show up is important. You can say it like that, where you show up, because that's where you're supposed to be. You be where you're supposed to be. That's the first one. Be, do, live, purpose. So how you show up, how you be, where you be at, where are you being? Where you are being, who you are, that is your purpose. You get to, that's an intent, and that's intentional action. Okay. Now, how you serve, that's living in purpose. That's the in purpose. That's alignment. You live in alignment with what you are here to serve. Okay. And then, so are you living? Are you doing your purpose? This is probably where most people are they're commonly familiar with purpose. Okay. We're expanding that. So now we have the capacity to understand more if we understand that its purpose is greater than what we serve. It's just also how we show up, which is the being, right? And then the last one, which is how you align your gifts with impact, doing things for purpose. It is not just in purpose, it is for a specific purpose. It has impact because you are aligned. It's almost like that arrow. It's like you get all of these, and when you get all of these aligned, this is when you are in full purpose. When you are being, you are doing, and that doing is having the impact, because that is contribution. So last month over on Pronoia Starcy podcast, I went over the 6 human needs. It's also in the book. But one of the last 2 are growth and contribution, right? Contribution is purpose. How you show up, how you serve, the impact that you have. That is purpose. So this is your contribution is your purpose, but is it in your totality of your being? So sometimes people don't understand. You may have a to be yourself is to be on purpose, to be authentic to yourself, to negate, to go against you is not on purpose. That is not on purpose. That is totally off purpose. You can't even get to the alignment and the impact if you can't get on purpose, because on purpose is that part that gets you on the straight and narrow, elevation type of thing. So when you do the work, you get to be on purpose. You get to get in alignment with who you are. You know who you are. You start to live in purpose because you start to make decisions. And this is something that I've talked about with other people. You may hear me talk about this again. Decisions, not just by yourself, because I can, but for yourself. You start to make decisions for who you are that are aligned with who you are. Meaning you're going to do things, you're going to live in alignment. You're going to only do things that feed that part of you that needs to be fed. And in that, you're going to have the impact that it was intended to have, because you are operating in alignment with your authentic self. That is true purpose. But you have to start with that first one, which is being on purpose. Intentional action, intentional thought, intentionality. One of the reasons why I am doing what I am doing currently is to be intentional in my next leg of this journey for myself. So I'm walking this out, and I hope there are some of you who have expressed interest, who are sharing along in your own journeys, and I appreciate you for joining me in this, because I didn't invite anyone, but you saw a need for yourself, and that is the beauty of it. And you make it work for you. That's the beauty of it, because there's no one way to skin a cat. That's what they say. All right. Our visions and goals create direction and purpose. So again, tonight's intention is clarity, right? This gives you clarity in a very succinct way of how to be and stay on purpose. And because we know, excuse me, that's a lot of cayenne, y'all. Because we know universal law, right? Whew, I lost it for 2 seconds. I lost it. Okay. I'll come back to it. All right. I'll come back to it. All right. So if somebody remembers what I said, please help me. So living in alignment, that's kind of what I just went through. Alignment is the assignment. I just broke that down. So purpose is expressed daily in who you are. You exude purpose in your being. You don't get to turn purpose off and turn it on. That is the crown that's heavy, because we all do have purpose. They tell us that, but they tell us it in this serving way, solely serving way, but not in the way that says that my purpose is really to align myself with the divine first, so that I can then execute said purpose here. All right. So it's through our choices, actions, and energy. It's not perfection, it's consistency. Y'all know that. So every day it's a walk. Every day you got to walk it out. Some days you might sit down for a couple of hours, take a break, take a detour. You might want to go to the souvenir shop. You might like where you just came from. You might want to stay just a little bit longer. But as long as you keep moving, that's it. So not perfection, consistency. Keep it moving. All right. Alignment is the assignment. That's gonna have to. I'm gonna like that one too. Alignment is the assignment. Write that down. Write that down. All right, y'all know what time it is. It is quiz time. But let's see what it says. Aha. I show up faithfully to serve as a mustard seed, purposefully in alignment with the possibilities of my own greatness. You sound like a poet and you know it. That's what I'm saying. I show up faithfully to serve as a mustard seed. Mm-hmm. I like words. All right. So quiz time. I hope y'all have y'all pens, papers, notebooks. We are going to see, we are checking again. This is for you in the sense of gauging how you listen, how you feel about it, where you think you are, where you think you might need to improve. You be the gauge of it. If you be like, well, let me see where I can improve, you might look at these differently. If you want to see how I have improved, you might look at these differently. So however you need to frame them so that it gets you where you need to go on your self-mastery journey, do that. Okay? All right. So are you living in alignment with your purpose? 1 through 5 is your rating, okay? 1 being not so much, you're disconnected from, you're not aligned at all, disconnected. Everything in between there, you're searching, from searching to aligning to purpose and practice, okay? So purpose and practice would be 5. All right, first one. I feel fulfilled by how I spend my time. I said that's a 5 for Crystal. A smart video girl. That's me. Number 2, I use my natural strengths regularly. This is a good one. Ooh, that's a good one. Regularly. I think we should focus on regularly. Define regularly for yourself, and then that's a good one. I feel aligned with my values. I feel aligned with my values. And you don't feel aligned with your values when you have a lot of conflicting thoughts. If you do a lot of people pleasing, you may be conflicted with your values because you may value people pleasing over your value. So know that what do you value? So examine that. Okay. I feel disconnected from what I do. All right. That one is kind of the reverse. So you're going to rate it the way it's worded. You're going to rate it based on how you feel about it. So if you feel disconnected from what you do, you're going to put a 1, right? And if you feel connected to what you do, you're going to put a 5. All right. All right. And the last one is I make intentional choices about my direction. Intentional choices. There's the word again, intentionality, because it's intentional action to be on purpose. So, yes. All right. Add them up. All right. Let me know what you did, how you did. Tell me how it went for you. Uh you can put it in chat. Let me know what your scores were if you would like to share. Sharing is caring, but it is not required in this class. You will not. You'll be all right because look, this is self work. So how dare I require you to share such intimate information? Only if you are led to share, please do. All right. Okay. All right. There goes Mr. Cortland with the 5s across the board. And thank you, T, for that. All right. Okay. All right. That's what's up. We like it. I love it. That's right. You guys are in purpose here. That's what I'm saying. Intentionality. What's next for you, right? We are kind of getting into the end of this first quarter. I mean, this first half of the season, because I split the season up for the year. So I'm going to go through the rest of May, and then June. We don't have any classes, y'all. We are taking a summer break. She's going to be taking a break. I believe that's the day. But so therefore we are going to be having um you're going to have time. You know what they call that? The summer slide. They call it in schools. Like you have the summer slide. So we want to prevent that. We want to combat that. We want to be present and intentional at all times. So there will be other ways that we can stay connected. But yeah, make sure you get it in and take notes or go back and watch the first part of the season and take your notes over again. Do your quizzes over again if you need to. If you missed some classes, I'm talking to KG. It's like, no, I'm not going to. Go back and watch them because that's what it's all about. Okay. All right. That's good. That's good. She got a 19. You are aligning. That is beautiful. That is beautiful. Oh, yes. And I can understand where you're coming from with where you have your 1. A lot of us probably, if you're not really doing what you love, especially at work, then you're probably going to be that's going to be a 1 for a lot of people because they're disconnected from the things that they truly want to do. And I know for you, you're an artist, so you know I get that. So I get that. But thank you for your honesty. Thank you for your transparency. I do really, truly appreciate that. So, like Knowledge Born Allah said, do your damn homework. All right. The podcast homework for this week is what feels meaningful to you right now? What is feels meaningful to you right now? Is it your peace? Is it working with children? Is it painting? Is it writing? Is it making t-shirts? Is it, oh yes, traveling? What is meaningful to you right now? Then identify one small action that aligns with that. Okay. One small thing that you can do that aligns with something meaningful to you right now. Okay. I've actually kind of started that. Like this is um so I'm going to share. I think I did my homework early. I'm going to share then more of what I'm sipping. So what's meaningful to me right now is really self-mastery on all levels, mind, body, and spirit. So I decided to go on a journey and do the master cleanse. And I have been sipping my lemonade concoction and drinking my teas and doing things. But it has been a journey of mental agility. Now, you guys know I did the thing, coaching coach with Coach Ron, and I learned something about my physical body at that point. And this is kind of like another level to that. This is a heightened level to that self mastery. So I'm taking myself on this journey. It's been since this is day 6. Put it like that. This is day 6, and today I feel good. I feel clear. I feel clear. I have clarity. I do have clarity. But the small action I will say that I took that helped me align with this is actually doing like going to the store and buying the ingredients. That was the first step. Because if I don't buy the ingredients, I can only talk about it, right? So that was my first step. I said, I'm going to do it. And actually, before that, I said, I read about it first. That was the first thing. That was the first thing. That was the first thing. Because I knew I wanted to go on a fast. I knew I wanted to do something on this segment of the journey to help me further align on purpose with who I am. So this is what I came up with. This is the journey. This is where I am. If you have been following me on social media, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, then you've seen some of my videos. I'll post one today later. But this is what's meaningful to me right now. And that is why I took the action. And I see and I'm grateful for taking these steps. Like I can already see the clarity in me. You know, I can already feel the shift. And if nothing else, just for my body, to be clear. But it also, too, I live in a house with people who still eat food and they have no cares and it's not that I want them to, but understand the temptation you walk in. Like the first day, the first day, the first day. And let me tell you, because so this is how our minds, and this is how you have to be intentional and pay attention and have to hold yourself accountable. The first day of the fast, I wake up, I go, and so I'm sharing all my bad habits right now. I wake up, I go into the kitchen and open up the pretzel jar to get a pretzel. I said, "What am I doing? I cannot do that. That is not what I'm supposed to be doing." I had to put the pretzel down. I didn't even grab it, but I reached in and I was like, "Dang!" And it was in that moment that I realized that the autopilot of not just eat pretzel, but going to the kitchen and grabbing something to eat. And in that moment, that's when I had to really focus in that like the cravings were crazy. And I was like, I don't even really eat that much. I love food, but I don't even eat that much to be as hungry as my mind was telling me that I was. I was more so just mad at food, really, because I couldn't eat it. Like I said, they had food at church on Sunday, and I was mad at the bread. I was like, they had bread. I was mad. But it's the mental thing that I have stayed true to the liquids for the most part. So I did have some pho. It was good, but still, and it was vegetables. It was only vegetable broth. Okay, don't judge. But in that is still commitment, because when I come out of this, there is a more to be aligned more on purpose, in purpose of who I am. So yeah, that's my little testimony that I'm sharing. That's all that I have to say. All right, so make sure you have your homework written down. The homework is what feels meaningful to you right now, and then identify one small action that you can do that helps you align with that. Okay? All right. So again, shout outs to, I'm going to run the announcements back in a minute, but let's hold space for some gratitude because I am grateful for the ability to grow into our purpose, into my purpose, to be able to self master myself, to be in alignment, to be on purpose. I am grateful to be able to grow into that. Wherever you are, you can always move and grow into your purpose. All right. So again, today's topic we were talking about in, on, in, and for purpose. That's being in your being on purpose, right? Doing, living in purpose, and having impact with that purpose, because that's what you were created to do. Okay. So shout out to everybody who's living in purpose. Purpose is a practice. Shout out to everybody who's aligning. Shout out to everybody who's disconnected, trying to find their way. Okay. Shout out to you, because I think this is one of the hardest things. It becomes one of those things, the hardest things to do in life when you talk about purpose, is because it becomes this big, grandiose thing that you have to try to figure out all these pieces of who I am and what I do and how I do it, why I do it. And that becomes a lot. But the first step, if we start with the first one, as I said, be who are you, and get in alignment with yourself, you and God, alignment. You higher power, whoever, whatever that is for you, universe, whatever you're aligning with, that higher power that energizes you, that charges you, that gives you the authority, that gives you the energy, then you align with that. And its purpose becomes, again, practice. It becomes life. It becomes 42222 on the clock. When I said that, it becomes, you're on the road. You're on the right road. Okay. So with that being said, all right, again, make sure you get your tickets to the documentary Forever Free and the Illiteracy Playbook. It is a very, 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 very well done documentary. Again, shout out to Dion, shout out to Cortland, shout out to Shauna. You guys did a wonderful job on that. Get the book. All right. Register your young ladies for the Power in the Petals. Okay. Power in her petals. And ding, 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 ding. Shout out to our t-shirt sponsor. Make sure you get your shirt. Okay. Look, go on the site. They got a whole bunch of wonderful shirts. Check them out. Especially if you're from the DMV, you would truly, truly, truly appreciate it. All right. And with that being said, y'all, I love you all. I appreciate you. I want to make sure that I say this, that I appreciate you all for walking with me through this, taking a walk with me for your own personal be better, to master self. And yes, we will be back next week again. Don't forget, we're going to just close out. Let me just double check and make sure. Let me look at the calendar, make sure I give you the right dates. But we're going to finish May, and then June, we are on summer break. So I hope you enjoy it. All right. Much love, peace, and gratitude. I'm Smart Video Girl, your host guide. I appreciate you for walking with me. Class is dismissed. And until next time, I will see you later.